Good. Ready to go live. 2, 1. We good? I think we're good. Oh, I see the red light. Okay, cool. We got a fusion. We're going to be doing all the sides and the rear. It's going to need a little bit of cleanup. Let's see the level of dirt. We have Mr. Noisy over there. I'm just going to make this so fun. First, let's grab the film that we need. I need... Where's my 15? Pro Nano. I know I got it. I just gotta find it. It's somewhere. Pro Nano 15, Pro Nano 20, Carbon Plus, Pro Nano. Pro Nano 50, Pro Nano 50. Well, I need 5 as well. So let's grab the 5 out of here while we're here. C2, 5. That's a bad place to put that. Pro Nano, C2, 20, 50, 35. Fine. We either got put in the wrong spot, or I'm out of 15. Yeah, it got put in the wrong spot. I can guarantee it. I know I have it. Or somebody accidentally used the rest of it. This is all flat. C2, 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 Pro Nano. Because I brought it over for the class. That's no good. That's definitely no good. Let me just double check what these are. That's short. That's short. And this is longer. No, that's short too. Okay, well. Somebody lost me roll. Been following for a while. Do you do same day tinting for normal sedans? Not typically. Usually everything is scheduled. So if you want to set up an appointment, visit our site, view our booking calendar, link in the bio, or shoot us a message and it'll send you to the booking calendar anyways. Where'd you message us? So C2, let me double check here. Because it could have gotten put away in the wrong. Carbon, 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 carbon. Wow. I had a whole roll of 15. You have too much storage? Yeah. And would you believe that we actually do inventory? Let me refresh this. That's not connecting. Huh. I'm trying to think here real quick. Because I grabbed some Apex 15 and that's fine. But I grabbed a roll of 15 and we used it, but it was during our class and it was for one window that we had to replace. So my concern now is it was picked up and butchered with the class when it shouldn't have been. So now I don't have a C215 anymore. All right, well, Apex it is. Did it connect? Okay, cool. If I drop it off and chill out till you're done, as it's my only vehicle. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Everything's done within like 3 or 4 hours. So if you're just using, or if you're just getting like sides and rear, if you're doing everything with a windshield, it could take a little bit longer. But yeah, everything's done same day. Sorry, I misunderstood. I thought you meant like same day. Like, hey, can I schedule and get my car done? Like, schedule or like drop it off in the morning or something. With like no notice. So yeah, every appointment, yeah, we have a waiting area. You don't have to just drop it off and take off. Are you using meta glasses? No. No, I'm using a phone. Meta glasses would be nice though, if I could stream with them. They just don't stream that long. It's like 30 minutes on Instagram. I've never seen this on a Fusion. I've done so many. Do you see that? So I give it a few seconds. Got like a timeout. If I roll it up all the way, automatic roll down. So I have to remember to put this up slowly, or it's gonna ruin my window. How much cars do you usually get? What? Like in a day? 1 or 2? VW Atlas do that. Yeah, I've never seen it on a Fusion. I didn't know a Fusion was that smart. Hang on, let me see here. Oh, that's the back door. Filtered water? Yeah, kinda. Nothing like crazy special. We still have something that we have to get plumbed in. But we've never like needed it. I have a DI thing that I want to get set up. But we have just like clean water in the tanks. The spray tank itself has a inline filter. So I've never needed anything. You always hand cut, typically, not always. It's a good point. I default to what I know best, especially when I got a bunch of other stuff going on. So like this one, I like check the car in, get everything all set. Luke, could you be louder? Taller. Taller than I remember. I think we're good. That's the bottom of that one. How much money do you think you spent on the shop? Way too much. It does look good though. We just got it cleaned up more this morning. I tell you, it's so hard to keep all this like. So you just put a box down and it looks messy. Yeah, go with Mama. Oh, you got your phone in front of you. Yep, I have it on a neck mount. Should I be worried about an F-150? No, F-150s are easy. They have an S-curve at the bottom. They got plenty of space in the gaskets. It's like film, so there's some videos on it. What film? We're using GeoShield. I'm using Apex on the front doors, and we're gonna use C25 on the rear. Everything's supposed to be C2. Either my roll of 15 is hiding, which I hope that's the case, or it got butchered and thrown out with the class that we had. Classes are chaotic. So we have like rolls, long rolls, short rolls, heat guns, tools everywhere. So it's so easy to like set a roll down, forget to put it away, and then a student's not going to know that that wasn't class film. How come you don't clay bar the top edges no more? Towel or clay bar both work well. Clay bar works better on the laminated ones. It's just if I have one ready to go, I'll do that. But yeah, you're right. It's been a while since I've used a clay bar on the top. It's typically just a convenience thing. I would rather use a clay bar, but sometimes I just don't have one. So I have one there, but I'd like to save that one for the back window. Are you only on TikTok? No, we're streaming on YouTube, but don't tell TikTok that. What is your opinion on Expel? Well, any film company that's that large is going to have a good product. There's no reason to have a bad product, especially at the film prices that they sell their film at. But I don't think GeoShield is any worse. GeoShield will go toe-to-toe with them. Do you wrap cars? No. Have you heard of Lumar? I might have. I might have heard of Lumar. I got 2 free boxes of Lumar ATC for tinting one car a couple days ago. Damn good deal. Yeah, ATC. When we were using that years back, this was 2012, 2011. We were paying probably $350 a box for that stuff. I pay like $400 for a box of ceramic. Lumar is expensive stuff. It's not better, it's just expensive. What's the tint that looks dark on the outside and light on the inside? Any quality tint looks that way. It's just an illusion. If you tint your car, there's no light in your car, so it's hard to see in your car. And then all the light is outside. So that's where you get that effect. $550 for Suntech? Good God. That's nuts. Apex dual layer ceramic, it's just under 600 on a 36. I just bought a Lamborghini. Could you tint that? Yes. Why do you hand cut instead of using the plotter? It just depends. Depends on the day, depends on the car. I'm way more proficient with just hand cutting something out. and I know the exact patterns that I'm getting, but I still use the plotter. I just don't use it all the time. What's your opinion on a self-cutting machine? I am a self-cutting machine, thank you. The TLDR on plotters is they're very good machines that can save you some time, especially if you're just trying to get a lot of cars. They're not going to be as precise on every window as, you know, tailor cutting it to fit that exact window, but they'll get you close. Sometimes they'll get you super good, just as good as a hand cut. But I'm not going to know until I actually get that pattern on the window, where with hand cut, I know exactly the pattern I'm going to get. So, personally, if I just don't want to screw around and I want to make sure I'm going to get exactly what I'm going to get, I'm just going to hand cut it. But if we had 3 or 4 cars that were getting done, I'm going to care less about the exact cut that I'm getting on every car. And I'm going to be more about production. Just plotter cutting. Why do you use the green blade? I like the cut that I get out of it better. He said as he sees a little. Why do I get so many specks in my windows even though I take so many precautions? Because it's more about the process and less about the cleaning. You can do a mediocre cleaning job and get a really good result. You gotta identify where you're struggling. The pattern is not perfect because of the pattern or because of the machine. It's the patterns that are programmed into the machine and the little variances that you can have on every window. So, do you know why there's like every Tesla is going to have different panel gaps? Like every vehicle that's made is going to have like little panel gaps, but they're all going to be different in like how that car fits together, and they all come from like the same place. It's kind of like that for tint and anything. It's like when you manufacture something, everything that you manufacture is going to be slightly different. And so, and some things can be a little more different than others. So in the case of windows, when they manufacture them and they sand the top of the window, right? There can be little variances there. Those don't always line up. So if something's programmed off of one window to be universal for everything and that window's a little different, that's where you start getting some little variances. So it's just a combination of things. Is ceramic more expensive than normal tint? No, it's the exact same price. We just jack up the price because, blah. Yes. Yes, it's more expensive. Could you please tell me about silver or mirror tents? You going camping? I would like silver tent. Oh, you use that same thing. Do you want to go camping? So mirror tints are not much of a thing. You can find a whole variety of them. But nothing from your typical pro manufacturers or brands. It's all just random sketchy stuff. But if you want a shiny tint, you can get an architectural film and get that on your car. Those are reflective and those are good. There's just no good manufacturers making reflective films for cars anymore. It's all just random stuff from overseas, so you have to kind of guess. But I've seen a lot of them fail, so it's just, there's just not enough demand for it. Not here, anyways. So, like a commercial tint, yep. Yeah, like Geo's got a good one, 2020. It's very reflective. It can shrink, can go on the inside of the car, and you absolutely could keep it. If you want something with like a middle of the road reflectiveness, you could get their Lunar 20. That'd be cool. But it's that kind of stuff also draws more attention. So you're not supposed to drive with reflective films. So that's why you don't see manufacturers making that kind of stuff. I'm thinking of getting 40 on the windshield, 20 all over. What are your thoughts for nighttime driving? 40 would be great. I go as dark as 35. I wouldn't go darker than that. So you'd be great with 40. Why are you using the heat gun at the bottom of the tent? Because I'm shrinking it. How much to get a car tinted? Call or message us, and you'll get an automatic quote from our system. We'll use this one, slightly shorter. What tips do you have for very difficult back windshields? Watch videos and practice. There isn't anything I would be able to tell you right now working on a door. But if we got some door questions, now's the time. Can you talk about how to do subcontracting as a window tinter? Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. You just find a company, go, hey, I tint windows. Do you need a tinter? They will answer either yes or no. And then you work out a rate. So I did it for multiple shops for quite a while. I wouldn't work at one shop for the entire week. I would go work for one shop up to 2 days a week. And the good ones got 2 days a week. And the bad ones got like up to 1 day a week. And I'd try and just stay at one place for the entire day. That was the best schedule. So usually like 2, 3, up to 4 accounts on average. And there's so many companies that do automotive work but don't have enough work to keep a full-time tinter, but they have enough customers asking about it to make it worth your while. So a glass company that I worked for out in Shelby is probably one of the best examples of this. They would keep me busy on Mondays and Fridays. And so they would funnel all their tint work to those days. They had a schedule for it. I'd come in with film, and I'd get the work done. I didn't have to talk to customers. I didn't have to cash people out. Just get the work done, and then get a check at the end of the week. It was really nice. These Fusions are one of my favorite cars to tint. These are like a rarity. I used to get like 3 or 4 of these in a day before they changed to the newer model. I miss these ones. These were the best. What's a normal percentage? So we would charge typically 75%. It depends on the company. They just got to see it worth their while. A lot of times though, it turned into like a percentage with like a minimum, because they wouldn't care as much then about making money on the job, just offering it as a service to make their customer happy. Because if you're doing like 3 or 4 cars a day and they're charging like $300, like a couple $100 off of that isn't really exciting for them. Had a strip done on my windshield. Now the front camera doesn't work despite being cut out. Any ideas? Well, I'm not a rocket scientist, but it might have something to do with the strip, or water got somewhere that it shouldn't have. What kind of vehicle? Is it a Subaru? Is it a Subaru Outback? Kia Forte? Does the camera... So the camera's got a cutout in the windshield, correct? And then the windshield strip goes right around it? Because a lot of windshields have that. The tint strip was cut out around the camera. Well, is it like a flush camera that goes right on the glass with a cutout, and then the tint went around that cutout, or was it like a guesstimate cutout? Correct. Okay. Then it's most likely something with water. I can't guarantee anything, but that's my guess, is something got wet that it shouldn't have. Because if your cutout is around a cutout area, then you're not going to have an issue with it. It's strictly water probably ran somewhere that it shouldn't have. Sometimes people aren't very careful about covering things up, especially if it seems like a simple job. What tint do you use? GeoShield. Right now, this is getting very nice. It's ceramic on the front, dude. We're doing 15 on the front. What was your beginning tint? Lumar. Lumar ATC is what I got my start on. All around the Model 3. So sides and rear and that front windshield. Depends on the film. But if we're doing that full back window, I think 700, 800, or 900, depending on the film. How would you cut your tint? How would you cut your tint if it was just a roll and not pre-cut? Use a knife. When I saw C2 in the video title, I initially thought it was a carbon film. Yeah, but that's why it says C2 ceramic. How much time do you think it took for you to learn? Longer. Longer than some people that we've taught. Some of that is just how people take to it. I don't think I took to it particularly quickly. But I was about a year before I felt competent in most situations. Not by any means like, ooh, I'm amazing at tint, but I can tint cars. But what got me to really speed up was being under pressure. So when you have time limits where you're not in charge of your own schedule, somebody else is, and they got to pay bills, they'll give you more cars than you can handle, and then you just got to learn how to speed up. Does regular tint not provide heat protection? Exactly. Basic tint is still nice looking if you get a good quality version. It just doesn't have a carbon layer or a ceramic layer. Carbon and ceramic help block additional heat. So yeah, basic tint is for aesthetics. That's what most people know tint for, though. But it's become way more common that we put ceramic layers in it, and that helps block additional heat. So this stuff here on the back has one layer, stuff on the front has two. Free upgrade. Best tip for beginners: watch videos, get some film, get some tools, and don't be afraid to throw it in the trash. What's more preferred, carbon or ceramic? Ceramic's better. I have regular tint on my truck, and it's fine with me. That's great. I think people get a little bit too into everything ceramic or everything carbon or ceramic, or it's stupid. I like Pro Classic. Pro Classic is a solid dyed film. It's a workhorse film. But most of what people are just selling now is carbon or ceramic, because that's what your average customer is starting to ask about. Like, if they hear a mildly expensive price or honestly really anything, they're like, oh, is that ceramic? They don't necessarily know anything about it, but they heard ceramic is awesome, so. We only have carbon and ceramic. That's where I'm at now. I'm a little sad, but it is what it is. Is ceramic dark on the outside and clear on the inside? They all do that. Some really smart, semi-evil person on TikTok started that meme. They showed ceramic and they said, look, it's dark on the outside and it's clear on the inside. Truth is, you can do that with any film, any good film. But even then, like, if you're doing 5, it's gonna look dark, period. Is ceramic easier to cut and shrink? Nope. Nope, it's gotten easier. So I can install a ceramic film in the same amount of time that I can install a regular film. They used to be slower to shrink, but they've gotten more user-friendly. The benefits are always for the customer, not for the installer. But tinters think me. So, like, expensive film, easy to shrink? No. Expensive film might be easy to shrink. But expensive film means that it's a better solution for the end user, which is the customer. Is it bad to tint over existing tint? No, it's not bad. It's not guaranteed to be stable, but it's not bad. Dang, this got some overspray. Look at this. You see all that? Do you know what that is? That's like somebody painted something nearby. when the windows were cracked. Because as soon as I do this, watch. See all that? It's on the outside. But it's bad because it's all in here too. I can't scrape that off. What if the car is factory installed? Should it be removed? You can't. Factory tint is colored glass. So you're not going to be able to remove it. You can make it darker. What film is best to block out LED headlights? Dark. Thank you for the sunglasses on TikTok. I appreciate it. Sorry my face isn't there so you don't see it. Where'd my knife go? Let me find that here. What's the best place to buy quality tint? 313tint.com. Look at the bio. Do you use flat glass? Or the, flat out squeegees? No. Not anymore. I like the hybrid better. Are there any electrical issues in tinting application? There can be. But it's generally just somebody not being careful. You can always have accidents, but most of the time, no. If there was always issues, we wouldn't be tinting this way. Your shop is beautiful. Thank you. Just got all this stuff cleaned up this morning. So easy to just set up a box somewhere and then it looks like shit. The knife that you're using is called a plotter. Might as well be. How's Geo? Good, I like it. Been using it for a long time. Shop looks like VR. It's all green screen. It's fake. We found a green screen for the car. Do you not pre-cut tint? Depends. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Yes. Yes, it's a giant playground. Actually, you see that up there? Let's see, zoom in. We have a bouncy, slidey castle that we'll set up for him. We got tints from Temu. Have you ever tinted before? Or was that the first tint that you bought? Glass cabinet doors are genius smooth. Thank you. I appreciate that. I felt like a crazy person with this idea because I hadn't seen anybody do it. But I wanted access to the cabinets. And I had way too much time to think. And I'm like, maybe this will work. I don't see why it wouldn't. And sure enough, we pulled it off. But I need one on that side because I got glass on this side. I need it on that side. Okay, so we gotta scrape out this quarter window. I used to be really bad about doing these quarter windows, and I actually gotta go to the store. I gotta go to the store and grab a couple extra squeegees. So, I used to be really bad about doing those quarter windows. I'm gonna buy one of these, and then let's do the red one. So I used to cut these short. You have this giant gasket in here, and I used to cut these short and just not think you could do anything about it. That was bad. Turns out you can tint them back there. It's just not exactly easy. So I'm gonna get an extra soapy bottle of water here. We're gonna extra soap. So we're gonna put like half an ounce worth of soap in here. Probably don't need that much, but I want to make sure this slides. Store trip. There might be more of those. It's all clean and pretty now. Did you trim the rubber a little? Yes. That's the secret. That's the secret I didn't know. So I did trim this back a little bit in a way that you're never going to notice. Wouldn't care be damaged? Car be damaged with water and soap sprayed inside the doors. No. I mean, it's always possible you can damage something. But cars are fairly waterproof, water resistant. So you have, see that hole? See this gap? Rain is getting into your car door anyways. You just don't know it's happening. So the water, when it's sprayed on the window and drains down here, is often going to the exact same place it does when it rains on the outside, because it drips down to the bottom of that window and then falls. There's like a plastic membrane here that separates your car window from the inside of your door. That's not to say that excessive amounts of water can't damage it. It's just on average, if you're fairly careful, you're not going to cause an issue. Okay. Speaking of excessive amounts of water, this is one of those cars that I'm going to flush out because this is 2012. And we're in 2025. This car has some age, which means that tons of shit has built up in here. I'm going to flush the hell out of it. And for good measure, I'm going to spray some extra soapy water in here. And then hopefully I only have to do that once. I'm an ASE Master Tech. No water is going to damage anything inside the door. I appreciate that. I did once on a Durango. It's possible. It's just very unlikely. Some cars are made in a way where water is going to... an excessive amount of water can hop a trip on top of something that it shouldn't, like on a wire and run down to a module. I did that on a Durango before. That wasn't fun. You'd have to have a ton of water to damage the window regulator or door module. Yes, those types of things probably aren't going to get damaged. Classic Chrysler shenanigans. Yes, 100%. Chryslers are fucked up. They just are. Ah, there we go. Well, we wouldn't be able to see dirt in it anyways because it's got so much overspray on it. We'll clean that off, though. We'll be nice. How nice do I want to be? Do you sell those tiny squeegees? Yes, we do. In an expensive kit called the Quarter Pro Kit. It's like $35 for 2. I'm kind of sad about that. There's a cheaper knockoff We don't sell that. We probably will get custom ones, but for the time being, we don't. I'm extra cleaning their window right now. You see all this? Because what's the point in making your windows look pretty if all of a sudden now you just see a bunch of shitty overspray all over it? Where's a crappy towel? I hope it's not on both sides. This too. What's the most expensive? That list is kind of sad. I do a lot of average expensive, but high-end super stuff, I could count on one hand the number of ones that I've had, maybe two hands. That makes me a little sad, but also your level of risk and issues that you can have with high-end stuff and just sheer level of difficulty and whatnot, it goes way up. Because you could spray, water could run down to a leather trim piece and then swell up, and then all of a sudden the cost of whatever you're tinting that car for doesn't even begin to cover what you just damaged. So, I really like this range. I'm not complaining, but for clout, it's pretty bad. Is it bad to say, though, that I would rather tint these all day long? I love these. These are great. Fusions? Fantastic. Okay, so we're going to save that for the other quarter. We got the other side to do now. So we need a couple towels. We got a stool over there. Wearing this extra soapy bottle. I got a razor blade in my mouth. And then, what's the last thing? Sprayer? We got a sprayer. Cool. That should save on trips that I have to run back and forth. Have you ever got blamed for damaging a car? Yeah, I've damaged cars. Not very often, but yeah, absolutely. I broke a back window. I broke 2 windshields. I've damaged trim. And with every time you do that, it's a hard reminder to be more careful. Honestly, nothing has been excessively overexpensive. I think like one of the biggest things that personally hurt was I was at a shop and I was using a plastic scraper, this exact plastic scraper. These are great, but even these can scratch a window. So I would use this to rough scrape a window, and it picked up some dirt, and then it took that dirt and dug that into the window. But because the window was sprayed like this, I didn't see those scratches. I just tinted the window. Water dries out, customer comes back to the shop, window is all scratched up. And it's in those same swirl marks. And I'm like, dude, I think I know what happened. I'm extremely sorry. We'll get this swapped for you. And so the shop that I was at was not a tint shop. They were a high-end detailing place. And this car was fairly new. It was a BRZ. So not a crazy expensive car, but not a cheap car either. And so they had this guy that would come to their shop and replace the glass. And that bill was $550 for a door window, OEM glass swapped out. And I made maybe $250 to probably like $250 on that car. So, and I had to retint the door window. So those are the ones that like really, really suck. Actually, that was just like my own personal one. We've had like a not that like this past summer. Summer last year, we had a Chrysler Conquest back window bust on us because Mark was being stupid. God damn it. It's okay. We don't take apart that kind of stuff anymore. 550, good lord. Yeah, and then there's this other scare about a fucking BMW windshield. Guy had it replaced somewhere, came to us to have it tinted. It got tinted. I didn't cut the windshield out, but then we noticed a small scratch afterwards. The customer didn't care. Replacing that windshield would have cost $1,500 though. That was a BMW 3 Series. Like, holy shit, are you kidding me? $1,500 to replace a windshield on a 3 Series? So, be careful. You used to be able to clown around on cars like this. It didn't matter. Like, if you damage something, it's not expensive to replace, not hard to get parts, but there's so many cars now, it's hard to get parts, and they're incredibly expensive. Spraying water all over the interior, bruh. Yes, because we didn't cover it up or anything. Yes, do you want a good tint job, or do you want a car to be covered? I want both. I want to see some mechanics. We should get some mechanics to go live. The type of shit that a mechanic's going to do to your car just to get a part replaced. Sounds like the BMW had heads-up display. Oh, I'm sure. Every car. What car doesn't have heads-up display? That's one reason why they're so expensive. It's going to be that. It's going to be a soundproof windshield or whatever. And it's just going to be extremely expensive. That's just how they are. Windshield replacements have gone from like $200 to $500 to like $800 to a couple thousand. There's so much on a windshield now. You still have your cheap ones. You still do. They exist. A Wrangler windshield isn't going to cost you that much. But so many more vehicles now have too much tech in a windshield. It's not even the recal. Yeah, sometimes. Prove it? What? You want me to call and get a quote, or are you talking to somebody else? I literally tinted at a glass company. It's stupid expensive. Ask me how I know. Yeah, right? That's how you find out. What's ceramic tint? Ceramic tint looks like regular tint, but it blocks additional heat. It's like a TikTok filter for the sun. So you just don't feel that sun coming into your car anymore. But it's nice to see through. It's kind of magical. It's pretty great. Windshield businesses might be the way to go. Dude, I was seriously considering recalibration business. So you can spend 20 grand and get like a full recalibration setup. QR code panel, computer, software, probably an ongoing subscription to that. Oh, it's even on here too. You see this overspray? What happened here? We'll fix that for them. All that stuff. But I talked to the owner of a glass company I was tinting there, and I asked him, I was like, well, why don't you do it? Because you pay, like, he was paying somebody $250 per calibration to come in, and then they just tack on another $100 for the customer. I'm like, that's not far off. He said it's likely calibration is going to get simpler and cheaper. So for the time being, it's expensive, but all the tech could change very quickly. So that's why he didn't. But if you had enough space, you could do it yourself. Well, I have some tints, dark on the outside, light on the inside, because this blows my mind. That's just how tint works. What I didn't realize is your average consumer sees a car, and it's like what a toddler thinks. If I can't see you, you can't see me. But that's just not true. Like, all tint is that. When you see a car and it's really difficult to see inside. Oh, this is the one she said that had tint on it. And they got all the glue off. There's still glue. You see, I got all the glue off myself. No, I know you didn't, but it's okay. I'll take care of it. All the other windows were clean. I genuinely thought it was going to be on everything, but it wasn't. The dark in and out, the less cheaper one. I need a full sentence here. So the way tint works, oh, there's glass chunks. You see this? We're playing detective here. So it had an OEM sticker on the front door, but this window was tinted, which means this car, in fact, was not tinted, but this door window was replaced sometime, and the window that they replaced it with was a factory window because it's got the stamp, but it was a tinted one from another car. Ha ha. But yeah, tint just works like that. It's the same on the inside and the outside, but it's so much brighter outside. So that's why window tint is easy to see through, but it's hard to see in the car because there's no sunlight in here. What's your thoughts on the removable tint? Oh, that stuff. I like the concept. It's not gonna look as nice. All the examples that I've seen so far have really been, they already have a light window tint on their car, like a 20% or something. And so they're showing it the outside angles with tint, with the tinted car, and then the inside ones, they're showing you apply it. So it's not quite gonna look that way. But the idea of a temporary shade and that, yes, it's cool. Like on our Blazer, we had a baby shade. So the idea that you could basically have a tinted looking baby shade is nice. I'm glad this whole thing is not tinted. She did in fact give me a head start on this. But this is some sticky glue. We gotta make sure it's all off. Good. I like it. Squeegee, squeegee. You look like Colin Malloy. I don't know who that is. I've heard Bill Hader though. I think I'm his shorter brother. How does color shift tint work? I don't know. Some magic that they put in it. I genuinely don't. Some chemical process when they manufacture it. Kind of like color shift paints. I don't know. They probably put like this similar things that they put in color shift paint and color shift tint. Iridescent stuff. How long did it take you to learn? So I learned over the course of a summer, hands-on with somebody. And it's just happenstance. Like, I wasn't looking to become a tinter. It just, like, fell into my lap. I like it. I like it. I like it. There we go. But yeah, it took about a year. Like, I learned over the summer, and then it was my full-time job. And so, like, I had really bad days. And then I had some that were okay, and that slowly got better over the course of the year. And then I still had very bad days. Still do have very bad days. But those aren't near as often as they used to be. Good. Clean. Let's check it out. Why? Where was this car sitting? Look, all of this. There's just like, they were sitting somewhere with the windows cracked, and then this thing just got like painted. Oh, that's no good either. That's okay. Let's do this quarter window. Really enjoy the streams. Thank you. Oh, TikTok ended, so let's get that going again. Due to an internet connection. Huh. Well, I think YouTube's okay. So like 3, 2, 1. Hit that button, and then we'll be good. Really enjoy the live streams. Thank you. What's the tape on the side seals for? It keeps the sides cleaner. You can look on Matt's website to find class dates. Yes, all the class dates are listed on 313tint.com. Link in bio. Here, this 313tint.com. We're in Sterling Heights. 18 a mound. 18 mile. 10 miles up from 8 Mile. Cool. Cool. So we got most of a pattern. Let's go finish it up. Oh, thanks for hitting the like. I always appreciate that. A little bit more here. You do any C10s? Like the old truck? Or is that an S10? How's the PPF going? It's not. How much for a 50% ceramic windshield? 250. I gotta double check. We can probably do it for 200 right now. I gotta double check my pricing. We've been doing a lot of fiddling with that lately. C10. What was that? C10s are full size S10s. There is a full size of an S10? Huh. It's kind of like the Ranger. Like everybody had, or a lot of people had S10s. But I only ever saw an S10. I didn't know there was a C10. Is it clean? See this? Okay. See what we're doing? We got a knife, and we got to work out all. See how far you can go into this seal? But, like, why? You can't even clean this. You own the car, and then dirt's just going to eventually sneak back there, and you just can't even clean it. Like, whose idea was that? Dumb. C10, or C10s equals 1500s. Oh, okay. Is that kind of what I was saying? It's like an S10, but a full size? I don't know. Anyways. Here we go. The secret to these quarters is just trimming out a little bit of the rubber. S10. Oh, yeah. So, okay. So that is right. All right. Yeah, that's what I was saying. No trim needed. You are better than me. I've always needed to trim it a little bit. I'm not ashamed to admit that, though. I'm not the best. I'm just decent. Why not use the keg? God damn it, guys. I can't use anything. That's the real answer. I have it, I do. Okay, I need like a full disclaimer that flashes on the screen every 5 seconds when I use something that I don't necessarily use in every window. There's no good reason other than I put extra soap in that. I could flush it out beforehand with the keg and then just spray the extra soapy water. But I had that there, and I can do the same thing with both. So that's what I did. Oh no, that scares me. If I use a plotter, everybody asks me why I stopped hand cutting. If I don't use a plotter, people ask me why I don't use the plotter anymore. I can't win. You can't win. I need disclaimers, guys. I need regular disclaimers that are just like, it's okay, bro. Matt may or may not use this in every situation. I feel like this could shift over. Works for me. Do you use your plotter much anyways? Not a ton. I hand cut more windows than I plot on average, but it still gets a fair amount of use. I had a truck yesterday, I used it. I hand cut the doors and I plotter cut the back window. Yes, we are gonna do the back window. Good timing. And I have an option on the back window, and we're gonna probably do it because I saw it this morning. So on these, they're notorious for the dots. So first, let's clean it off. But the dots are rather big on the top, and so we can fix it with something. Not fix it, but make it better. What companies are amongst the best quality? GeoShield, Solar Guard, Lumar, 3M, XPEL, Solar FX. I don't know. How many other ones have I missed? A lot. That list is very long. Oddly enough, there's not that same overspray on the back window. Okay. So, see these dots here. So if we just tint straight over that, you have your normal silvering around this area. But here, it's gonna ban all the way across, but it's gonna be inconsistent. It's gonna be very wavy. So I've got a product that I'm gonna use. It's a soft vinyl, and we're gonna tint this part, and then we're gonna layer that in there. It's gonna help fill in that whole space. I'm not sure if I need it, but we have it. And I don't get these very often, so I'm gonna use it. I don't even know if you can still buy it. It's called Dotrix. I don't even sell it. What about Elmer's? Elmer's is messy. I'd always seen pictures of it yellowing years later, but I don't know. Elmer's could work. I just... Ugh. I did a little less research on actually trying glues. I tried it, but between hearing yellowing stories and not really liking how messy it was, I never really liked that option. But some guys do. Okay, so I'm gonna. How do you lay down that tape so clean? Experience. But the other thing is flip the roll sideways. This is to wipe our tears. Snuggle sheets. So if you're using Glass Aid, you pull out a stretch. It is like flexible and a little stretchy. So what I'll do is I'll pull out a stretch. I'll let it relax a little bit. But instead of holding the roll up like this, I flip the roll sideways so I can just get really close to the window. Pull out a stretch, put it close to the glass, and just do that. I've been trying to start a tinting business 2 months in now. Heat shrinking is hard. Heat shrinking is difficult to learn. It'd be worth taking a class at that point. Have you used Great Value dryer sheets? I've used like generic brand Meyer ones. I don't know if I've used those in particular, but definitely used a fair share of random brands, and they're not all the same. Once you learn how to heat shrink, it's the easiest part of the day. Yeah, it's just identifying a couple simple rules. Shrinking's not very difficult. Some cars can be very difficult, but shrinking, once you learn what to look for, becomes much easier. Nice looking shop, thank you. So this is Dotrix. I've had this roll. That's an old address. Wow. I've had this for probably about 5 years now. So this is a soft, I think a calendar vinyl. To be honest, I'm not sure. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna put tint on the back window. We're gonna shrink it. I'm gonna trim off of the top section, and then I'm gonna use it to template that. I got quoted 300 for tints and Ipsy. Is that a fair price? I don't really need dark. Darkness has nothing to do with the price. It's still the same type of material. So whether or not you get a light shade or a dark shade, it's not going to impact the price. But yeah, that's fine. My tinter takes 4 hours on average. Full cars, no plotters that long. Yeah, it's definitely like hard to run a business off of those times. I'll tell you, that's a big makes it hard to run a business. That's why a lot of tinners go independent, is because there's like conflict there. It's like, well, I got a tinner that takes 4 hours, so that basically means he can do 2 cars in a day, and I can only charge $200, $300, $400 per car, whatever the case may be. It's not enough to pay for him and the time, the space, the insurance, everything. But it's good money for a single individual to do 2 cars in a day. So as a shop, it becomes really difficult. It's good to have a few people. Just put the tint on my window. Well, come here and pay for it, and I'll do it. It's what we do. What size roll? Looks like a 40. I'll double check. I think it's a 36. Why the tint on the outside? Because they only paid $50 for this job, so they get tint on the out. I'm kidding. We'll get there. It'll get on the inside. You'd think I'd be able to just tell between picking a roll up. Honestly, I'm not sure. It should be a 36, though. I don't see a reason why it would be longer. What is it? 36. It's just a short back window. It's one reason I love these cars. You get this big extra that you can use for the quarters. Do you use a stainless steel blade? Yes, I always cut on glass with stainless steel, but I also use glass aid when cutting on glass. What do dryer sheets do? Dryer sheets keep your film from just grabbing the window until you put some pressure on it, and then it tacks down. So right now, it's all floaty. If I pull on this, you'll see it wiggling. So this is what I want it to look like, and then when I card it, it locks down to where I want it to go. What's the difference between C2 ceramic and Pro Nano? Good question. They are basically alternatives. I wouldn't be surprised if he just ends up discontinuing Pro Nano eventually, but Pro Nano, there's two ways to make ceramics. Pro Nano is a dyed ceramic. C2 ceramic is a carbon ceramic. Both block a ton of heat. Both are good films. It's just two different ways of making the same type of product. But when there was a lot of supply chain issues in 2020, they came out with C2 ceramic, formerly known as Carbon Plus, as an alternative to Pro Nano in case manufacturing went to complete shit. Which there were times that it did. They only had so much runtime. We've transitioned from Pro Nano to C2 ceramic. They're close enough in performance, and I like the color of C2 ceramic better. What color does C2 ceramic have? A much more like black neutral tone. Pro Nano, 20% great, 15% great, 50% great, 70% great, 35% very warm. You didn't see it as bad outside, but it's like, if you'll notice, I still have the samples up front. It looks noticeably warm, and that's being nice. Some films tend to hue really blue, and I don't like that either. I just like a nice in-between shade. It should just look nice. There shouldn't be anything alarming or jarring about it. Somebody said it was a warm brownish color. Only if you, like the 5% is definitely a little warm, but the 35 was the worst. How long should tinting one car take? Depends on the car. Shoot for like an hour and a half, 2 hours at the most. But it depends on your setup. You always want to go for quality. But when you're trying to run a business, and if you're only charging like $250 for a car, you just don't have time. Imagine paying yourself $50 an hour, and then anything left over from that at the end of your car is done is money for your business. So if you're charging like $200 and it takes you like 2.5 hours, that's like $125. So you have $75. How much did I say? $250? A little bit more than that then. You have a lot more expenses than you might think when you're actually doing it yourself. Time is your biggest one. Okay, so we're gonna peel the glass aid off. What ceramic brands do you suggest? Don't cheap out on ceramic. GeoShield's got an awesome lineup. They're gonna be an awesome ceramic choice, and they're gonna be within a decent price range. But I wouldn't start with just getting ceramic. There's like practice first. So get a film that's fairly inexpensive that you can throw in the trash. And then when you start tinting on customers' cars, like use this film first on your own, but actually give your customers a good product. Oh, that's convenient. What's an inexpensive film that works like a regular film? T-View has been like one of the closest ones that I've found. You just want to find like an inexpensive dyed film. I think T-View is pretty solid. I wouldn't trust it on my customers' cars, but it's an inexpensive dyed film. It's about $100 a roll. The reason why you want to get a dyed film is dyed film is the simplest type of film. Cheap carbon films and cheap ceramic films just do not shrink very well. So you end up throwing more cheap film in the garbage than expensive, but if you get an inexpensive dyed film, it's a good all-rounder to practice on. Cool. Template. So this is going to be used use GeoShield, yes. So that's for this. I gotta pop the trunk. We gotta move these forward. Oh my God. Ugh. I understand you partner with Geo, but can you tell me more how you feel about Helios? No, I can't talk about anybody else. Helios is sold by Sun Distributing. They're about 30 minutes away from me. I worked with them while they were launching that film. And it's a decent product. I just haven't used them in a while. It took them a while to figure out their lineup. It's hard to launch a film brand. But Rick is a solid guy. He sells a good film. If you had any issues, he would take care of you. And we get all our tint kegs from them. So these awesome spray tanks over here. That guy? Yeah. Those are all the tint kegs we get. We get direct from them. Oh, God. Hang on. Did we zoom out? There we go. It minimized the app when I did that for a second. Yes, it's got the buttons. Okay, cool. Why did you cut the matrix? Because you don't need to tint that part. Don't worry about that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. I'm so glad this has the buttons, except the middle. We'll leave the middle one there. That's fine. What happens if you don't heat shrink the tint before applying it? Then it's not going to lay flat on the window. Mary and Charles trained me, but now I work elsewhere using Helios. And that's why it's hard to grow a tint business. You train somebody and they leave. What's the neck mount you're using for the phone? TikTok should just show it to you. Dude, it was like in my feed forever. I had bought it, and I was still getting ads for it. I bought it from Amazon, though. Don't tell TikTok that. It's just a magnetic iPhone MagSafe mount. Yeah, Rick is a nice guy. Definitely get great customer service. Yes. How comfortable is the neck mount? It's fine, but like, it's here. So I've got like 3 or 4 inches between me and a phone at all times. So when I'm trying to get close to a job, it gets in the way. But it is what it is. So the nice thing about this is that a little bit goes a long way. So we need to match this up first, the way that it's going to go on the car. Something like that, right? There we go. Right? Because the glue is facing that way. And we need to make sure our tint is doing the same thing. Yes. So now we can lock these together. And then all I'm going to do is trim this wider. Give myself a little bit of margin. I should cut this a little closer on the sides. It's mainly about extending the top and the bottom. That should be good. And then I probably cut hard enough to just separate this whole thing. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay. Well, that's fine. Have you tried the 2% C2? Yes. It's awesome. It's not, there's no like weird color. It's just dark. It's very dark. Usually when you get a film that dark, you're gonna have some sort of color that stands out. That looks really good. I have a TikTok video with it. No heat shrink on the outside of the window from forming the tint. No, you do. This stuff you don't have to heat shrink though. This is just gonna like, it's a soft vinyl. It's gonna stretch out and form to fit. Yep, we're good. Do you recommend pulling sweets on an ES350? Yeah, definitely. ES350 is like one of the only cars that I do. Okay, let's grab a towel. Let's grab a couple towels. Last window. What's wrong with not tinting the dot matrix? Who would care? There's some people that ask if you should tint the matrix or not. That would be what it looks like if you don't. Ew. Close enough. Let's grab these. I almost feel like this is not my screw. No, it's just hanging out back there. Let's feel what we're working with here so far. I love fusions. You get so much space back here. The glass is so flat. I used to do these in like 30 minutes. Where do you get the vinyl at? This was actually a Sun Distributing thing. I don't know if they still have it. Sometimes they have a couple rolls still on hand. It's a very not in demand product until somebody like me brings it up. So I gotta go check them out and see if it's still there. But I've had this roll for like 5 years now. I just hardly ever use it because I just don't run into this type of situation. But in the event that I do, I have it. But I can get, it's what, 100-foot roll? I can usually get 2 strips out of each section. So it goes a long way. We used to charge like extra for these things. Okay, it feels clean enough. Let's get the dots a little bit better though. What's the putty? It's just a clay bar. So the only time I'm gonna address the dots is gonna be when it's like this. There's not anything practical that you can do on the skinny dot matrix that surrounds the whole window. I wish there was something you could do. There's just nothing practical that you can do. But these big ones are right at the top, so they're easy to get to, and they're obnoxiously big. So some people will glue them, and I like to just put a blackout vinyl there, especially because we're doing limo. It just takes away that distraction. This used to be a pretty common issue because there were so many of these on the road. But now you just don't see this design much anymore on anything. So it's not enough of a common issue for there to be any type of real solution for it. Using a gel, I mean, I could see it filling it in, but I still feel like you would have the same issue. What gel are you using, though? Sounds interesting. Like a PPF gel? It might allow it to dry out more evenly. I could see that helping. Ugh. There we go. Oh no, my pattern is short. I cut it short. I'm just kidding. Wait, could somebody like have a comment about gel? Where, what? I'm interested. Okay, so this pattern is gonna go right up to the dots. I need a reach tool. I need that, and I need a smaller squeegee. Are you two-piecing this window? In a manner of speaking, yes. Yes, I am. Two-piecing along a defroster? No. Two-piecing because it's super curved? No. We just cut out some vinyl to address the dots. Here we go, that's better. I should try some gel though. I just saw a TikTok video, somebody using like PPF gel for window tint. I feel like it could get really goopy and messy. So, but maybe if you just spray it on the tint and not using it on the inside, so you just like before you install it, you spray some gel on it, that'd probably be okay. Also sounds like it'd be expensive. All right, back window. Don't use PPF gel, it's too aggressive. So what are you using? Let's clean this off. If you slightly sand the dot matrix, it'll stick just fine. No likey. I've never seen anything good personally from sanding. I saw somebody do a demo at a tint event too. They took a DA sander and it literally did nothing. I get it. I just, eh. The sandpaper goes over the top matrix, so you like tape it because you're making passes, so it could be really easy just to slip. I need spray. There. So this piece of vinyl here, this is good for the next car. Because I got plenty of on this one. I made it locally in a small chemical factory. Oh, so it's literally something that you have. Oh, cool. Well, that's not helpful. I mean, it's helpful for you, but it's not helpful for me. Can you make a video on C2, 2%? There's a TikTok I have. You just like want to see it? Yes, unfortunately. You guys, use this. Okay, I've never heard of it. Where is it? I made it at a small chemical factory locally. It's for me. Okay. Thanks. It's cool though. I like the idea. Since we have tint slip and tint strip, there's a chemical company that we could probably get something like that from too. Might talk to some peoples. Okay, so the other annoying part about this product. Oh, no way. Did I just get it that easy? Shut up. Oh, it never goes that easy. Oh, I'm awesome. I will take that any day of the week. I always screw that up. Sometimes it's taking me like legitimately 5-10 minutes to get that strip because I don't give myself a lot of margin. I need to grab something out of the store. Should we do pink or should we do green? Let's go green. Sometimes what I do, you just use regular car wrap vinyl. Yes, you probably could use that just fine. I don't know. See, I don't know anything about vinyl other than what I hear from people because I'm not in vinyl like I am in window tint. So what I did was literally just buy a product that somebody made for it. But later on, I would hear, oh, I think that's just a calendar vinyl. You have a cast on your foot? No. If I have 40-inch rolls, how do I not waste excess for the front and back windows? Sometimes you do, which is why you should buy short rolls as well. See if this works even better. Double suede buffer. All right, now we'll check it out. So you can see it's not gonna have the same, it's gonna blend in more with the top here. See how this is more of like a, it's black, but it's more of a, I don't wanna say a flat look, but this is a tint black, and then this is your dot matrix black. So you can see the dot matrix filled in with that vinyl on the back is gonna stay in line with this, because a lot of it is this, blends in, but you don't have that same type of dot matrix that you do. But this is just for the top. This isn't for the rest. So the dots on all the sides and everything is still gonna silver out. And another unfortunate bit is, from what we've seen, you'll generally still have a faint line where the dotrix overlaps your tint. So it's never been like a perfect solution, but it's always been much better. Than just tinting straight over it. But that's what she looks like. Just did a 2012 focus, and the Cetal was acting like a total butthole. They were really tight on the focuses, for sure. Hi, dude. Whoa, careful.
Daddy.
What?
Daddy.
What?
No.
Oh, you see yourself. We're almost done. Just wrap up, touch up, clean up. How tall are you? I'm super tall. This makes me look so tall. Hey, don't touch that. No, don't touch that. Don't touch that. Don't touch that. I know. It's all a game now. Why don't you go to Mama? Hey. Why don't you go to Mama? The dotrix would make a good visor strip on the front windshield. Kind of. You can, like, a lot of guys will just do a black vinyl strip on that, or you could just do a regular windshield strip. Dotrix is just a soft calendared vinyl, I think. Causing chaos. Go to Mama. Are you trying to get your Toy Stories? Okay, you know, you can, hey, put this in there. Watch this. Put this in there. There you go. Yeah, well, why don't you take this? He walks around with rubble and this Owala thing everywhere. There you go. He's got to learn how to put that down. He'll panic. He'll be walking out of a bedroom or something, and he's got to bring that with him. It's like a purse. Are you still using core? Yes. How many employees? 2. What's the name of the dark foil? So that is a vinyl. And that was called Dotrix. I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna scrape their windows here really quick. And we'll wipe it off. Can I see the 2%? Yeah, I can grab that. Is this the same studio from before? Mm-hmm. Yep. Same place. We just made it look prettier. Me in Africa, I don't need all this to tint the car. Yep. I used to tint in a wide variety of garages and spaces. You can use fairly simple things. There's things that you can use that'll help. But yeah, you really don't need a lot to tint a car. Are you just cleaning the windows? Yes, there is a significant amount of overspray on the doors here. See this? There's like this paint overspray. So since she just got ceramic on this, I want her to be able to see it. Nah, it's okay. You got a potty? All right, good luck. I heard that Excel is getting sued because they don't make their own products like they claim they do. Huh, I don't know. That's the first I heard of it. But yeah, they work with manufacturers just like a lot of brands do. They don't have their own manufacturing facility. This is always what was funny. Is the way that they got global, a bunch of global dealers, is because they went to a bunch of global dealers and they're like, hey, we're using the same manufacturer. It's just we have better branding. So a lot of people that were using Global, like Global, switched over to Expo. And then they started defining territories more and really going hard on dealer loyalty. And then cranking up the prices on their dealers too. Why did you razor the outside? Oh, there was just a significant amount of overspray on this one. So I was trying to clean up the side windows that we tinted a little bit more before giving them back. So it actually looked better. God, I feel so bad about this windshield too. Let me just scrape this up. Yeah, I usually don't razor the outside of the glass. This car is just dirty. Gonna give this windshield a little bath too before I deliver it. How do people see at night when they tint the windshield? They use their eyes. Some people don't tint their windshields very dark, and then even if you tint it fairly dark, you can still see through tint without too much hassle. I just wouldn't do the darkest film that we have. 2% all day. It's just a non-scratch scrub pad. Wow, it looks so much better. Cool. I'm glad I did that. It was pretty nasty. Window tint's illegal. What's the best percent? Depends on the state, depends on your area. Something that's not going to get super noticed. So generally 35 to 20 is a safe range to stay in. Just look at it this way. The more attention you draw to yourself, the more heads that you're going to turn by the police. You can always just get pulled over for like whatever and have a bad day. But if you go extra dark, oh yeah, I got to pull those in things. That's the last thing I need to do. I got busted in the mouth once from those seats. I was sitting in there, and I needed to put the headrest back in, and I told somebody to release the seats. Smacked me in the mouth. Gave me a fat lip for like a week. There we go. Now let's wipe off the inside. That was the last thing I forgot to do. Neat. It smells good. I like it. Nothing that stands out. Looks good. Do I have? I do. Blue tape. Any tips for tint curling after install? Well, it just shouldn't do that. I don't know why it did. Could be too expensive. I mean, could be too, what's it called? Not expensive. When did Mark leave you? He's still here. There we go. No, it could be a variety of things. Could be overshrunk, could be bad glue on the tints, could be too much soap. It's hard to say definitively just off of why did it curl back. I don't know. It could be a few things. Okay. I like watching a professional, especially on an inexpensive older car. Oh, doesn't matter to me, yeah. Doesn't matter if it's an older car, newer car. I'm going to try and do a good job on it. Do you ever have to take out a business loan to cover overhead or just save up? Anything on the shop? No. Well, actually, no, that's not true. On some of the mods that we did for the shop, yes. And then on inventory. but they were very like safe loans. It was just to like, hey, I want to double my inventory. So you can either do it very slow over the money you make off the products, or you can speed things up, carry more products, and then grow that faster. Okay, I gotta take off. Thank you for hanging out. This one's all done. So the last look much better. Good stuff. Thank you for hanging out. We'll be back later.